Dungeon Crawler Network presents Tales of Tamriel.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a very special episode of Tales of Tamriel, a Dungeon Crawler Network production. I am your host, Aggelos, he who is mad at all things glass. I don't care how much bad luck I get, I smash all of it now, because that's what happens. Also joining me for this special little episode, my partner in crime, and he who, we like to rant together on evenings. Avi, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. It's always fun to rant, you know?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Kind of an off story, but it's still kind of funny. I sent out a tweet the night I heard about the big news we're talking about tonight. I was at work, and we were having some technical issues. Obviously, I'm a system administrator at a bank. So I was working with a vendor, and the guy was trying to jack me around. So I got very, very angry at him and might have taken out some of my Elder Scrolls rage out on this poor vendor. So, I mean, he
Poor
had
guy.
it coming. I was angry. And he was the first person to lash out on because he tried to tell me I don't know how to a SQL server works. I'm like, dude, seriously?
You're like, don't make me break glass right now,
Don't
okay?
make me break glass right now. I will. I will go in that bathroom right now and smash all of it. Yeah, that definitely is a thing. All right, before we get into this episode, I got to say some thank yous to some various people out there who support our network, and that would be our newest Patreon supporter, CS Farrington. There we go. I hope I pronounced that right. Sorry if I did not, sir. You rock. Thank you so much for supporting us. You are amazing. So yeah, definitely want to send out a shout out to them. So thank you so much for supporting us, and we hope you enjoy all future episodes of Tales of Tamriel, including this one. All right, let's go ahead and just roll right into the game news, because there wasn't a whole lot this week. But before we get into the big stuff, let's just go over everything that happened so far this week. First off, patch 2.1.7 dropped this week, and that was an incremental patch to the PC and Mac, and there was a, obviously one for the consoles as well. That continues to address some of the issues with the Imperial City and its dungeons, as well as issues with the UI, the Mac client, and some various other things. This hit last Monday, and then this Monday they also did another patch. I remember it was a hotfix for something, but I can't find my notes saying what it was a hotfix for. Avi, do you by chance know what the hotfix was for?
I do not, sir. I do not.
All right, I'll have to look at it. It was, you know what? I'm gonna pull it up right now because I can just do that.
Yes.
Hotfix dev tracker. I should have done this, and I had it written down. Hotfix, and I don't want the one. Oh, it was a hotfix for Trap Beast. For those who didn't know, Trap Beast was hitting for like, what was it, 150k or something really silly like that. Like, it was just insane. And it was due to a bug with a minor force buff that it was applying. So they fixed that. So no more like one-shotting with Trap Beast. So some of our PvPers might be a little upset about that, but people who were getting ganked by it, probably not so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a little minor hotfix. See, I didn't think it was such a minor one. I don't even remember patching for it. Like,
No, yeah, me neither.
which is kind of strange because normally I get, like I obviously would notice the patch because of how bad my internet is. But I don't even remember a patch. It must have been that tiny just to remove it or fix it or something. So that was a thing this week. Also in the news, which could be exciting, and yet, I don't know, I kind of feel like it is whatever. There was an article that I saw over on MMORPG.com that the Elder Scrolls Online has partnered with a company called, was it Vivox? Vivox. which is supposed to bring in a type of VoIP type software into the PC side of the Elder Scrolls Online. So essentially, it's going to be what the consoles have with their push to talk, or their voice chat, whatever you want to call it. So, Avi, what are your thoughts?
Hey, I think it's cool. I don't really get why. I think the programs that we have, like TeamSpeak and stuff, is what separates us from a console, is that we're able to use party things. But I think it's cool as long as I don't enter town and have to mute a bunch of people.
Yeah, I I guess it's not that big of a deal one way or the other. But my issue with it is the other game that I know tried to do this was World of Warcraft back in the days. This was one of their things where like, oh, we're going to make it so that, you don't have to have voice chat. You don't have to join a battleground and go, oh my goodness, I don't know what everyone's doing. And honestly, it just flopped because, most our PC players already have a type of voice over IP. I mean, not everyone, but most of the people who don't already have one were not predisposed to joining one anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I'm glad it's there. I kind of liked the idea of the console and their proximity chat. Like, I really did. I like the idea of it. I honestly don't know if I would even have it turned on, just because I know how the populace of most MMOs are. Log
I
on.
like the idea of quick communication. So it's like if I'm just like running by myself and some guy runs up and is helping me kill a boss and he wants to hang out and go do stuff together, we can jump on a quick little like a connection phone call or whatever and not have to resort to like going, oh, do you have TeamSpeak or anything like that? I like that idea.
Right. It keeps you in the game.
Yeah, exactly.
No, and I can completely appreciate that. That is definitely a good thing. Keeping people in the game is what you want to do. It's kind of like, how do I want to describe this? It kind of reminds me of someone opening up a payphone company in an era when everyone has cell phones.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just kind of like, why would you even bother? Like, pay, like someone who goes, oh, I open up a payphone business. Why? It's, oh, I'm a brand new startup for DSL. Why?
Why?
Yeah, it's oh, I'm a new router company and I'm only supporting Token Ring. I'm sorry, my IT guys might get that, but everyone else is like, what are you talking about? Yeah, it's just using like especially for a market share that doesn't care as a whole. It's kind of like, why even bother? Why even bother?
Yeah.
All right. Good on them. I don't know. I feel like it's a waste of resources just because of the populace. How much use is it really going to get? Like, even most people even forget World of Warcraft has it and it's been out for years. So I don't know. All right. Let's talk about the last little bit of news before we roll right into our discussion topic, and that is the Crown Store patch that hit. First part we're going to talk about in the news was the Mages Guild costumes that we saw earlier. They hit the store. Avi, did you get them?
I didn't get them yet, but man, I really like them. I think they're cool. They look amazing, and for the RP purposes, people are going to love them.
Speaking of RP purposes, did you know a lot of RPers are after the stolen clothing that you can steal? Because you can actually wear that in your slots. Like when you steal something that's like corseted shirt or a pair of workers' pants, if you go to you don't even have to go to the den, the outlaw den, and what is it, launder them. You don't need to do that, but like when you put them on, it actually fills your pants slot or your chest slot, and it's actually clothing.
Yeah, I noticed that. I actually had a ARC send me a message telling me, oh yeah, just so you know, people like those. So
they sell.
Do they go for good? They go for a good price?
Not a terribly good
Decent
price
for
but
just finding them.
yeah, it's one of those things where if you found the right person in the right time, it would actually probably be to your benefit to sell them. But I don't know. Like, maybe it's because I'm out of the loop with where the role players hang out, but if I knew where they hung out, maybe then it would be beneficial. But I don't know. It's one of those things like, and this is against all role players, but let's just say the average role players generally aren't that very high of level, so they don't necessarily have a lot because they only care about role play, right? Like the hardcore role players. Now it's not everybody. Don't get your panties in a bunch there, but it's like they don't have tons of money. You're not going to sell something for like 100K unless it was something super rare, but you might get a couple hundred gold off if you could find a right buyer.
Oh, well, that's cool. I'm gonna have to start collecting them and stop just selling them right when I get them when I go down there to the.
It's one of those things where you just need to hold on to them, and then like if you see a bunch of role players, just start going in chat, selling these items and just link them in chat and see who whispers you.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that might be an option. All right, let's just go ahead and let's talk about the elephant in the room. All right. Part of the issue with this patch, or the Crown Store update, is they did release another item that is pretty much the premise of everything we were talking about on this show and what most everyone else is talking about right now. And that would be they released the glass motif in the Crown Store. If you haven't noticed, and I'm trying to bring this up, Avar went over at Elder Scrolls Off the Record, my paladin brother over there. He did a short little podcast episode that I know, Avi, you listened to as well, that really kind of gave his feelings on the Crown Store. And so, I mean, it's not just us. If you're of the notion that it's just us, go listen to other people if you don't. That it's not popular in the community right now. He did a great episode on his thoughts for the Crown Store. Avi, did you listen to that, right?
Yes, I did. I'm so happy people are speaking out about it because it's not fair.
It is. No. And I know some people are going to say some different stuff, and that's okay, because another person in the community, if you're not familiar with her, I don't know why you're not. She's been on the show before. She's really big in the YouTube and Twitch communities. That's Aloha Wendy. Love Aloha. Love you, Aloha. You're the best. She did a video about this. She was very unhappy about this entire thing as well. You can find that out over on her page, but I'm actually or on her YouTube page, Hello Wendy, but she actually put out an entire forum post about her entire issue with the glass motif in the Crown Store. She linked the video, and I'm actually going to link the forum post in our show notes. But before I get into her arguments why she's against this, Avi, I know you probably saw this one as well, right?
Yeah, I did.
I know I retweeted it from every account that I have because it was fantastic. I mean, we're obviously in love with the game. Why else would we make content if we were not in love with Elder Scrolls? But, we're going to talk about why we're not. Now, she talked about this, and she gave a couple arguments that I'm gonna sit on, and we're gonna talk about just one by one. And this is from her forum post out on the Elder Scrolls official forums. Argument number one: the grind was too long. She goes, yes, indeed. To get the glass motif is extremely hard. It requires time, dedication, and gold. This can be a good thing. The glass style is something iconic. A lot of diehard Elder Scrolls fans would be happy to have this. Obviously, we both know, this is, other than Daedric, glass is probably the most popular. I don't know, between Daedric and glass, these are probably the two that people go nuts over. I love glass in Skyrim, and Avi, I know you did too, right?
Oh, I love it, and I've been so excited to get some nice glass armor because you can dye it in this game.
Oh yeah. Oh, and it looks so good too. That's the problem. It looks really, really good. But all right, so she talks about that. Be happy to have a very hard style to obtain can give purpose an end game challenge for crafters and traders. Do not forget that not every player enjoys the same thing. For some players, crafting and trading is their thing. They also need some love and some goal that is challenging to achieve. Once they manage to get the challenge done, it's a great reward to be one of the few capable to craft the glass motif. And they also make gold out of this. For traders, rare materials are a great occasion for them to enjoy their favorite game as well. Also, it gives a purpose, the reasons for players to do their crafting writs every day. It brings back a type of dynamic reason to play the game and a purpose for the game. But they made the grind in such a way to discourage players because it takes too much effort and then offers some of the convenience of getting the motif in the store instead. Then it's wrong. And she goes, it's borderline a scam. That's what it is. They really push players towards the crown store, and that's just super lame and a greedy tactic. It's not ethical. It really isn't. She follows up with her next two arguments, someone going, ZeniMax is a business, not a charity. And her final argument is, these are for people making arguments, it's only a cosmetic item. I actually want to hit on all these, but I don't really want to read it because it kind of brings into a whole bunch of our stuff. You can read her suggestions to this as well, but we're going to talk about it, and she mirrors a lot of what I'm going to say. Following that, before Avi and I really get into this, I'm sorry, lots of talking here, but there's a lot of different opinions that aren't just ours. Esteldian from the show, because he couldn't be here, he actually wrote out a huge email and sent it to me saying, this is my thoughts on Glass because I can't be there tomorrow, but I wanted you to hear this. And Esteldian is not really, doesn't really care about Crown Store one way or the other. I mean, he's like cosmetics. He doesn't really buy them. He doesn't buy extra mounts. He just doesn't care. But he made some really good points, and he as well mirrors what my thoughts are. And Avi, you can weigh in here, but I'm going to go ahead and read his entire email before we start talking. This is from Esteldian, and I quote, while I personally am not really affected by this, those dismissing it as a non-issue are being quick to assume, as it is a cosmetic, it just doesn't matter. For a player whose endgame is adventuring, be it for PvP or PvE, this is by no means pay to win or detrimental in any way. So for them, it's fine. And he goes, I fall into this category. All I really care about is combat, blah, blah, blah. I'm not really affected. So a lot of the people who are jumping going, this is just cosmetic, don't really care anyway. All right. That's kind of like a PvE. You're going, I don't care if PvP doesn't get a patch for a year. I don't care. You know? He goes on to saying, but for other people, trading and crafting is their passion and their end game. Farming these things is a big deal. It takes time to get the motif for use for either selling or trading or to get what you need. Once obtained, you then have a market to sell your crafted goods. There are people who love the look, and a limited number of people are able to craft it. As a result, there is a market for crafters who put in the effort. With it being added to the store, it is easily obtained. This means it can be harder for those not using cash to buy to get what they need. If you purchase the motif, you likely won't farm the pages, so trading duplicates is less common. I'm actually already seeing that in the game. In addition, more people can craft the glass, meaning it is likely that you'll have a friend or guildie who can make glass armor. In most cases, these people don't charge, and you will give the material, and it's just made for you. This means the crafting market for it just got killed. You can argue few will buy the cash, but between the ESO Plus people having a stockpile of crowns and the fact that it is a crazy grind, it will be popular. So while it's not pay to win, it does kill a certain subset of people's endgame, and given that adventuring endgame is near non-existent, they really shouldn't kill off any other areas. For them, it is equivalent, for them meaning the crafters, it is equivalent to selling monster helms in the store. They work to get their item, farming with worse RNG than helms or shoulders, needing to drop 10 times from daily chest, and then needing to get the right page as well, only for it to be easily available to any with cash. To make this worse, unlike Dwemer, they added this very quickly to the store to maximize profit, obviously. At least with Dwemer, enough time had passed so the pages and crafting were already commonplace. Finally, while this may affect only a select number of people and their playstyle, there is still a cause for concern. The obscenely excessive grind for the pages stinks a key issue with Lord of the Rings Online's design, making it painfully awful grind so that it's highly appealing to shortcut via cash. While ESO so far has only done it with cosmetic stuffs, it's not a far leap to see the trend. Crazy long grind for materials for VR16? Why not buy them with cash? As they are just an unfinished product, it's not necessarily best in slot. Technically, they could argue that it's a reasonable sale just to sell the VR16 crafting mats in the store. Rather than having to grind it out, why not just buy a stack of 200 Rubinite ore or bars? I believe Lotro sells parts of an awesome item which bypasses a tedious grind. Some of its players didn't even think this was pay to win. It was merely, and put in quotes, convenience. Okay, that was the end of that email. He really did echo a lot of what I said. So, Avi, I want you to go ahead and go first, because I'm going to go on a rant, but I don't want to overtalk you.
Fine. No, that is fine. I've even told a couple people this episode, oh, don't worry, you're going to hear what Aggelos has to say. It's coming. Yeah. Okay, so I'll start. Glass motifs. Do I have a problem with them being in the store? No. Well, let me rephrase that. I got a problem with them being in the store 3 weeks after they're released.
Mm-hmm.
I have a problem with every single style of crafting being able to be sold in this store, and my main issue is that they have materials in the store now, and it blows my mind. It blows my mind. It leaves me speechless. I mean, crafters need an end game. You know, it's very important. They undermine the crafters, and they're pretty much making it seem like they're not. What they do isn't important, because everything that comes out that is actually worth something for them gets put on the ground store, even if it is a couple months away. You know, eventually, what can you do unless they keep putting out new styles? And I know all the styles in Elder Scrolls, and they've released a lot of them. So unless they're going to start making some up in the future, or unless they don't have plans on being around and crafting still being a big thing in 5 years, and I don't really know what they're doing by going, oh yeah, we'll put this in the, or how did they say it? They said
You mean the announcement when they said they were going to add it?
Yeah, they're going to add it, and
that
pretty much how.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to just quote, when they said they were going to add it, they did say they were going to add it to the Crown Store. So we're not arguing the fact that it was added and we were surprised. We're not surprised. But I quote, they said, we're going to add it to the Crown Store, but we're going to wait until the crafters have some time to get it. And I don't know about you, but after 3 weeks, I have 1 page. That's it.
Wow.
Well, I should say I got 2 pages, and I got a freaking duplicate, which, because it's in the Crown Store, no one wants to buy it. So.
I don't get this. So you can save up 10 scraps and get a page, then you can save up 10 more scraps and you can get that exact same page.
Yep, I got gloves twice.
That's mind-blowingly frustrating, and it turns into the point of, why am I even doing this? I mean, they're taking the reason of being a master crafter out of the game and just making it so everyone can be a crafter. You don't need to find a master crafter. It's not a rare thing to find a master crafter, you know? And that really bothers me, because I like the idea of there being these people in this game that only a great handful can craft these certain styles that come out while they're still new before they start releasing newer styles. So that bothers me a lot. It's a shame how I have so much stuff in my head, and then as soon as you give me the chance to speak, I get a little brain farted.
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, if you want, like, I can kind of go in my rant. You can feel free to interrupt me if you remember or say something, or you can keep going. Don't matter.
Yeah, no, go right ahead. That's really what I had to say. You know,
yeah.
I think ZeniMax, they've been pretty good back in the day at admitting when they were wrong. And I think this is something that they should just stand up and finally admit. You know, it's kind of like when they've realized that everybody hated the veteran ranks. What they do, they came up to us, they told us, we realized that this isn't good, and we're going to try to fix it. They did the same thing with the champion points, just like they're doing now. They're trying to find ways to make it so too many people aren't totally OP because of champion points.
Oh yeah, but you know what's really funny is people complain about crafters when it's like, oh, it's just cosmetic, who gives a crap? Oh, but you're all up in arms with champion points. You know, when it affects your play style, you're the one going, this is wrong, it needs removed. And I'm not saying it's not, but there's like a double standard here. People complaining, like I saw the threads for the champion points and the removal of the veteran ranks, and they were like, 300 pages long, and everyone's like, oh, this is wrong, because it affected your play style and how you like to play the game. So then it's okay.
Yeah, in all honesty, all I can say is what I want ZeniMax to do, they won't, I know, and I'm sure other people don't think of this the same way, but what I think the best thing for them to do is admit they're wrong and take it out of the Crown Store.
Yep.
Just remove it. Just remove it and admit you're wrong. Because
And refund the
they
crowns
are
to the
wrong.
people who bought it. Yeah. There
Oh
you go.
yeah, definitely. Refund the crown. Say, you know what? We're sorry, guys. We didn't realize 3 weeks is just way too short of a time. And all these people that have been here since the beginning of the game and take pride in being a master crafter, they all just got shot in the face. Just like if we got on there one day and they went, "Oh, the Molag Kenna helm. It's so hard to get." Well, guess what, guys? You can buy it in the crown store.
For $5, you can
For
buy
five-
it.
and it's like, and that's like you said before, that's the same slap in the face crafters get when they see that all of these really rare motifs are getting put into the store, and especially when they're getting put into the store 3 weeks before they got put into the game. That's mind blowing.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. I'm going to get into my rant. I'm going to say this first off, as what a lot of people are saying, and before you go, oh, that's just you. No, it's not. It's a lot of people in the community. I even had to link this on my Twitter because people are like, it's just you. You're complaining about it. I'm like, I linked the first thread from Reddit going, people complaining about it being added. Like, there's other people. You just need to open your eyes. I'm not opposed to it being added to the Crown Store. All right. I know ZeniMax is a business. It's a pretty crappy one, to be honest, because of the way they've been acting recently, but they're a business. I get that. It is a cosmetic item. It is. But the way that they did this is, it's not like Dwemer. Because before anyone goes, well, they added Dwemer, blah, blah, blah. Well, let me go ahead and tell you this first. Dwemer, when they added it, yeah, they waited a few months. I don't remember the exact months, but it was greater than 3. Most people already had it. And, people were making the argument that, hey, the Dwemer market crushed itself. Well, yeah, that's because eventually the supply and demand started changing. And, people were like, I was selling Dwemer pages for like 30, 40K a piece when they first came out. Now you're lucky to get them for 3 to 5. Like, that's just what it is. And you know what? That's fine. That's how markets go. As demand goes down, the price obviously has to go down, or else you're not going to, you're not actually going to make a profit. That's how it goes. So then they added to the Crown Store. Fine. You know what? Then someone who goes, I really don't want to grind it out. I'll just spend the money. No one else is really grinding it out because it's not super popular anymore. So it's really a pain for me to find it in game. I'll just buy it. Whatever. Great. But now they added glass to the Crown Store less than 3 weeks after it's added, and the glass is 10 times harder to get. Actually, it's more than that, than the Dwemer. Because the Dwemer, you just needed to find the pages, right? You found a full page, happy day, great. But with the glass, you don't get that. What you get is you get a fragment. You need to collect 10 fragments and then buy this 10K item, this Merithic vial of something or another, to craft and get a random page. Okay, a random page. It could not even be the one you need. So a random page. They also time gate it. And before you really say too much about time gating, they did. Because you can only get them from crafting writs. And you go, well, what does it matter? Crafting writs, you can do it 3 times a day because it's only the main crafting, the woodworking, the clothing, and the blacksmithing. Well, let's just say, for instance, you have all 8 characters with 50 blacksmithing, 50, all of that, maxed out, and you do it every single day. That's only 24 chances to get a fragment a day. Dwemer, they didn't time gate you because in reality you could go to any Dwemer ruin and just search, find it, and open a pot, and that was a chance to get the Dwemer motif. Might not have been the right page, but then you could trade it, and there was no time gated. You were only time gated based on the amount of time you were willing to spend, and you could actually make loops. People are like, well, you couldn't farm the same place. No, but I found 3 dungeons that I ran into, and I timed it that in that amount of time, by the time I finished the 3rd one, I could go back to the first one and just do it again. So there was no time gating. In theory, if you got super lucky, you could farm it all in a day just by jumping to all the Dwemer ruins. This one you can't. Even if you got a fragment off of every one, you can only get 24 chances in a day, and that's only if you have 8 characters with maxed out crafting. And I guess you don't need maxed out crafting, but the chances you're actually going to get one at low levels, it goes up as the crafting rate gets higher. So you have this insane grind. This is very reminiscent of free-to-play Asian MMOs, by the way, which do have that shady practice of, let's make this super grindy so that the cash shop looks better. I mean, unless you got super lucky, you're looking at probably 3 to 6 months of trying to farm this versus then they add it in 3 weeks going, oh, here you go. People are going, do I really want to spend 6 months and maybe not even get it, or huge amounts of money and maybe not even get this? That's just not even cool. So, all right. So we added it to the store way too freaking early. Great. People who are complaining that, oh, it's just cosmetic, who cares? Well, yeah, you don't really care because you don't do crafting. Well, screw you, okay? Because let's face it, I, as a crafter, I'm a 9 of 9 crafter. I have every single trait researched on every single craft. I'll tell you right now, when people ask me to craft something, if they want like a Twiceborn Star or, one of the high 8+, I charge 5 to 10K per piece. If they're not in a guild, mind you. I do it for free for guildies. But, if a random person goes, hey, I want you to make me a full set of Twiceborn Star, I'm like 10K per. So 50K for me to craft it for you with your mats. And you may go, wow, that seems kind of expensive. Well, yeah, but I spent the last 6-7 months researching all of that stuff. If you don't like it, go try to find someone else. But I'll tell you right now, I'm one of the few people who actually can do it. It was my time. I spent it. That's how I did it. And same with specific motifs. Yeah, you're like, oh, it's just cosmetic, right? But with something that took such a long grind for, I could then sell glass for an additional 10K. Oh, you want glass? All right, well, that's going to be 10K with your mats. If you don't like it, find someone else who can do all your glass for you. And that was a market for crafters. That was something I could look at and go, hey, there we go. But, you're not, because you're not affected by it, it's not that big of a deal. What if they removed how you farmed your money, right? Then it would be a big deal. Oh, we removed all gold drops from mobs that you kill. You can't get it that way anymore. People would be up in arms. All right. So let's see, where am I at now? We talked about adding it in, how that sucked. All right.
All right, hold on. I got something to say now. I had to recollect myself.
Yeah.
Because I was so ready to hear what you had to say. All right. In my opinion, this grind is probably the grindiest grind since veteran ranks, and I think everyone can agree with what's been put into this game. And 3 weeks is not enough time. And one of the big difference between this and Dwemer, like you were talking about, is Dwemer, you can go anywhere at any level, any Dwemer place at any level and get a chance of getting one of these pages. So it's not necessarily an end-game style, crafting style, not like glass, because let's face it, if you're going for the glass pages, you're up in Craglorn. You're not down in Deshaun doing the crafting grids, doing the low-level crafting grids. So that means what? If you want to have a better chance, then you got to be a higher level, which makes it a little more of an in-game style thing. And 3 weeks is not enough time for. I can't imagine anybody having all the pages right now, unless they were lucky enough to get the full page, which was.
A lot of people who knew it was coming were saving crafting bags every day, so there were a few people who got a lot of pages very early, but that's still the minority.
Yeah, and I mean, this is one of the most beloved armors in the Elder Scrolls series, in my opinion, next to Daedric, Ebony, and Dragonbone. These are the 4 top armors, and if they ever do, because I know they already have Ebony in, so if they ever do decide to do like the Ebony style, like motif style and Dragonbone style and stuff like that, it's gonna really hurt if they keep on doing this with all the ones that the only ones people are gonna be interested in looking forward to.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And that's what it is. I'm going to move into the arguments here that were made. People who argue, well, ZeniMax is a business, not a charity. This is true, but it's the way they're doing this is not an ethical way of doing it. They made it so grindy that they're forcing you into the Crown Store. Like it is. It's so grindy. We talked about how much it's going to take to actually get this. So this move from them, especially doing it so early, they waited. People go, wow, this is really grindy. And instead of waiting a few months for people to, get it together and do some selling and stuff like that, especially people going, they did it when the market was super high, when people are selling fragments for 30K a piece, whole recipe pages are going for 200, 300,000. So then what do? They go, oh, so while people can't afford it money-wise, except for the people who have lots of money, they didn't allow the market to naturally mature, where the market went, people started getting fragments and going, oh, well, you don't want to sell it for 30K, I'll sell it for 25, and the next guy goes, I'll sell it for 20, and the market would naturally start to form its own little, like, okay, this is how we're going to work. No, they waited for it to be at its highest value, both in terms of, in-game money and the amount of time when people aren't looking at it 3 months down the road going, wow, that was an insane grind. They go 3 months down the road, oh, I'm only missing 4 pages yet. No, they're going to wait where people are sitting there with the big bug eyes, deer in the headlights going, how am I ever going to finish this? And then go, oh, guys, here you go, Crown Store. Here, why don't you buy some more crowns? That is greedy and unethical. Like, it really is. Oh, my goodness. That reeks of free-to-play Korean. And I don't even care. I cursed. I don't care. Like, that's what it is. That's what this whole thing reeks of. And ZeniMax, you should be ashamed of yourself. This is stupid. Some guy over there at ZeniMax got frickin' Scrooge McDuck dollar signs in their eyes when they go, let's make this super grindy, and then wait 2 weeks and put it out there, because no one's gonna want to do this grind.
Let's be fair, Aggelos. It was 3 weeks.
Oh, 3 weeks. I am sorry. I did not mean to cheat you out of that one extra week, ZeniMax. I apologize. No, that's complete crap. That's what it is. That's why this is such a problem. Followed up. All right, let's just take out for the fact that they've added to the Crown Store. All right, great. They added it, way to be greedy, okay? Corporate America at its best right there, ladies and gentlemen. Screw for the love of the game and for the enjoyment of your players. Let's just make sure you can get money before your game crashes. That's what we're looking at. All right, so now we got that in there. We've come to terms, okay? And as I said, I don't really care if this was added into the store if they had waited several months for the market to mature and then someone comes in going, I really don't want to farm all this glass. I have the extra money. Here we go. No, they did not wait for that to mature. They went, let's do it now. All right, so we got the glass in there. Let's just pretend ZeniMax had a shred of integrity and waited, okay? So they waited. Great, it's added. All right. So what's their next move? Let's just make this a little worse. Why don't we? All right, let's add the actual material into the Crown Store. Why don't you? Okay, let's do that. Let's make that an insanely hard grind and completely up to the RNG gods. And then go, let's see. Oh, you want to make a full set of glass armor? Okay, here you go. Well, let's just give us 500 crowns. Whatever. Who cares, right? Who cares if we throw away all of our goodwill and our community going, these guys aren't money hungry. My goodness, when your game first came out, what did people say? Oh, it's just a money grab. People trying to pay off on the Elder Scrolls name. It's not even going to be a good MMO. What did we do? We defended you guys. We said, no, I think they can do what they're doing here. They're making a good MMO, and it's in the Elder Scrolls universe, what a lot of us wanted. Not everyone, but what a lot of us wanted. We had faith in you. We stood up and defended you when you were accused of just being another money grub, WoW clone. But no, now you take that step. That's just even crazier. You didn't even do it with the Dwemer, but the Dwemer one you didn't make near as grindy. You kind of waited on that one, kind of test the water a little bit. I see how that goes. I understand. You know, can't be evil all at once. Even Hitler wasn't evil all at once. But hey, let's just keep going. All right, let's see here. Oh my, price is ridiculously high. Yeah, well, you know, I'm not even too bad about that. But hey, you know, especially with being greedy, you might as well just mark it up to $100 because you already made it. I don't know about you, but you know, maybe some of our listeners, I can understand. $100 might be a good bit of money. Okay. And I feel for you guys. Maybe you won't like this, but you know, I'm an IT professional. I make decent money. Is $100 a lot of money? It's up there, but am I not going to be able to feed my wife and kids if I spend $100 on a video game? No, I've done it before. You know, whatever. But no, that's what it is. You made it super high. You also made it super grindy, and now you're just trying to make bank on it. And to be honest, I'm very, very angry, as you can obviously tell from this, because this is a complete bull move, and you are just being like greedy little. That's what you are.
Yeah, no, you're right. And to the fans of this show and to the players of the game, one thing that people used to say all the time about this game is speak with your money. Speaking with your money is the biggest thing you can do. You know, ask Aggelos. Every time I get Mashalite shards, I send them right to him. My crafter, I plan on having a full maxed out crafter. He has no interest in doing anything glass. I don't want to. Why? Because they're abusing this, and the one way I'm going to speak with it is with my money and with what I do in game. I'm going to ignore the negative, and I hope everybody can do that too. You know, speaking with your money is the best thing you can do. People are unsubbing right now
I unsub.
Because yeah, exactly. Because why? Why are you going to sub? So you can buy a nice new horse, or so you can save all these crowns up to eventually buy something that is one of the challenging things for you to get in game. It's insulting.
It is. It really is. It's just insulting to an entire player base. And I understand. You know what? If you're sitting there going, it doesn't matter, it's just cosmetic, you're obviously not a crafter. Like, that's just what it is. You're obviously not a crafter. Like, you just don't care. And, you know, that's fine. You know, so when they add when they add Emperor, for the people who've been going after Emperor, well, when they add that into the crown store for 100 crowns, you know, or 10,000 crowns, and you're rightfully angry, should I be like, who cares? It's just convenience. No, that's you know, that's exactly what this is. And they didn't do it with every style. They didn't go, hey, let's just make all of them super grindy and then add them in. No, they didn't do this with Argonian. They didn't do this with Orc. No one likes Orc style. They didn't do any of that. They waited till they knew glass would be popular. Look at QuakeCon when they showed off glass. Like, everyone was cheering. Like, yes, glass, finally. Because they know that's popular. You know? Like, it's... And for a business, you know, like, yeah, you might have made a little bit of money, but you lost a lot of goodwill. I've been subbed to you guys since the beginning. Like, I have. I've never let my sub drop. Never once. I canceled it right away. It's gone. I have enough subs. I got your Imperial City, even though I don't even feel like playing your game that much anymore because I'm really just kind of fed up with your crap. Like, that's really what it is. You're not killing your market. You're killing the players who even really want to play your game. Like, I really don't even have much of a desire to play you right now. Not because I don't love Elder Scrolls, that the game isn't fun. I'm tired of your greedy crap, and it's really annoying me. And it's also annoying a lot of other people. Like, all these people are like, who cares? Well, you know what? They probably left a million times, right? Are they actually going to be around? Are they going to wait till the next game comes out that's better? You know, that's what a lot of people have done. I know quite a few people, even in our own community, who left the game just because they're like, yeah, Elder Scrolls just isn't doing it. Like, they're all about their cash shop now. They don't release DLC that often. Like, we went so long without DLC, and you're just sitting here just building so much ill will. The people, the apologists, the people who right now you're saying we're negative. Yeah, we're negative, but for the past almost 2 years, we've been nothing but the apologist for this game. When other people go, this game is terrible, we're like, no, it's not. It's really good. But now the people who are, you know, absolutely going, no, this game is good. This game is good. You should give it a try. Don't listen to all the IGNs out there and stuff. Now we're kind of like, maybe they were onto something.
I don't know how many people I had to defend over Angry Joe's review of this game. You
Oh.
know what I mean?
Oh,
And
yeah. Oh my goodness. When all those negative reviews, if you go back and listen to our early episodes, how much we were defending this game from the mass media, it was insane. The amount of people were like, no, they don't know. They didn't play the game. Oh, they wrote a review on the game. Yeah, but they played it for 5 minutes. Like, you can't write a review. We were defending this game like crazy. And now it's just kind of like, well, the game was good. It really was good. Now, the game that's out now is good, but the direction they're going, not so good. I really do feel like that Elder Scrolls Online has taken the route of let's just see how much money we can make rather than can we make a good game. That's what I'm seeing.
Seems like the long run is kind of out for them. They're not seeing, oh, our MMO is still going to be highly popular in 10 years like WoW is. So how much money and how much stuff can we make out of it while it's still alive and healthy?
Exactly. That's what I'm seeing. Like, people are they're seeing the writing on the wall for this game at this point. If they continue in this way, going, we've kind of slipped too far. Now let's see what's going to happen. And you guys are going, oh, it's just cosmetic, blah 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 blah. Just wait. Like I said, the monster helms. Oh, it's just a build. What's the next argument going to be? Well, it's not any more powerful than any other piece of gear you can get because we cap our gear at VR16. It's not like you're getting something with better stats. It's just different stats. Don't forget the dreaded lockbox. If you guys haven't been through that yet, that's gonna be fun. Oh, here's a lockbox you get in game. Oh, you can't open it unless you have a special key. That's what we're gonna do. You're gonna have to buy the skeleton key on the Crown Store, so you can unlock those special chests that might have a small chance of getting maybe an item skin or a special drop. Oh, open that up, and there's a 3% chance you'll actually get a VR16 gold, best in slot piece. It's only like a 3% chance, but you can buy 5 crowns for. Or 5 keys for 500 crowns. Why not? That sounds wonderful. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. That's really kind of, I don't know. It's bullcrap to the longest extent, just because they. And I don't care whether or not there are listeners who go, and I know this ain't all of you, so don't feel bad. I'm speaking to a couple people, specifically Reddit and a few other places who are, like, oh, if the game's not for you. You know what? I do podcasts about the game because I love it, but I'm not going to sit here and white knight the game going, there's nothing wrong. I'm not going to sit here as the captain of the Titanic going, oh, yeah, no, there's no water falling in. No, everything's okay, because this is not okay. This crap is not okay. And while you go, oh, it's just cosmetic, or it's just this is the type of crap that it always starts out as. No one goes full on out going, oh yeah, we're just gonna make this completely pay to win or remove any challenge to the game and make it a Lotro or a SWOTOR free-to-play crap where it's like they nerf your entire ability to play. As of right now, they don't really nerf your entire ability to play in this game. They don't. But it's only a step till they do at this point. They've already kind of nerfed the crafter's play style. Is crafting in this game going to turn out to be like crafting in almost any other MMO where no one really cares because good gear's not made from crafting? Like, that's... When they sold this game, they said crafting was going to be a valid way of gearing up. And, it still is. But how long until they go, you know what? Let's not. Let's just add something else. Like, these are things that if you don't put your foot down now as a community and go, hey, we don't like this, you're going to drive away entire segments of your community. Like, the crafting guys, what can we do right now? Nothing. We're up the creek without a paddle right now. Like... The real moneymaker, which was a way for me to, I don't know, farm money so that I could, buy VR16 materials, sell them, do stuff like that. All of that is no longer available to me because the entire market for glass is already going down exponentially because people are going, why even bother? I'll just throw this 5,000 crowns that I've been sitting on because I didn't want to buy anything else in the crown store, in this, and there we go. Before this came out, I was actually seeing people in Craglorn shouting, looking for someone to make me glass armor, looking for this, and someone would be like, I can make this piece, or I can make this, and they were making deals left and right. The day this came out, I saw one guy going, full glass, looking for work, and some guys like, everyone has full glass now. Like some guys like, I'm selling this for 5K per piece, and some guys like, I'll do it for free. I just bought it off the crown store. You killed that guy's market right there. Total crap. Absolute, complete, total crap.
Yep.
No, it's really what it is. And the people who really don't care, they don't care because it doesn't affect their play style, and whatever. Fine. It doesn't affect your play style. That's great. But, lucky you. But wait until something does affect your play style and see if you're all up in arms about it. All right.
And remember one thing when you hear us speak negative like this. We're a podcast. We're not being paid for what we do. We do it because we love to do it. Mm-hmm. ZeniMax doesn't benefit us like they benefit the Twitch streamers, putting in Twitch recommendations and doing the little things that they can do, because obviously why? Twitch is top priority right now, and it's one of the most popular things for video games. And I'm not talking bad about the Twitch streamers. I'm just saying, when you hear us speak negatively, it's because we're not doing this for ZeniMax. We're doing this for ourselves, and we're doing it for the people who listen.
Oh, you're not getting paid? ZeniMax was paying me. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, I didn't want to bring up those paychecks because I didn't know if you guys are getting them.
Oh, I see. I see. We each did our deal separately with the devil. I got you.
Esteldian's like, well, what about me?
Yeah.
No, but I just wanted to throw that out there, that you got to remember that we're just fans, and we're gonna speak our mind. You hear some Twitch streamers that play this game, and they're very positive about this game, even when negativity comes out. And why? Because ZeniMax is highly supporting what they do, and they can't really come out and be negative because they're gonna lose their connections with ZeniMax. So we're not that, and we're not gonna do that. So that's what I had to say. You'll never hear me not speaking my mind and speaking something false just because ZeniMax, it's healthy for the game. No, that's crap.
Oh yeah, we are, like I said, someone else was yelling at us going, we don't speak for the community. Well, you know what? We are part of the community, and this is our show and our opinions, so we do speak for our part. So, like I said, you don't like it? By all means, I would love to hear your reasoning why. If you want to come at and chat with me in a respectful way and give me your opinions, they are your opinions. But if you're going to go up going blah, 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 you guys suck, we don't want to listen to you because you guys are negative, well, you know what? Screw you. Literally, I don't really care. Because I'm not doing this for you. I'm doing this for myself, for the people who enjoy listening to us, and because of my love of the Elder Scrolls. And I do say love of the Elder Scrolls, not so much love of ZeniMax anymore, but definitely love of Elder Scrolls. That's what keeps me here, is because I love the game world that we're in, and the game that originally was really good. But I'm not going to sit by and just sit here and watch as they, quote unquote, ruin my game by putting in all their greedy, money-grubbing tactics. So if you don't agree with me, by all means, let me know why you don't agree with me, and give me reasons why you don't agree. I will listen to you, because those are your thoughts, and you're entitled to those opinions. But that's what it is. All right. I'm trying to figure out where I want to go next with this, because that's kind of all we really can chat about in our discussion topic. Do you have anything else you'd like to say about anything we talked about prior to this?
No, I think we said what we had to say, and just like I said before, remember everybody, we're a podcast, and enjoy listening to us for what we are, because we are who we are.
That's right. That's right. Um, my final thoughts for this particular subsection with glass is, ZeniMax, your original thing of we're going to add it to the Crown Store, we never thought you weren't, okay? That was not why. A lot of people, not just us, a lot of other people, check your forums, look at a little Wendy's video, Elder Scrolls Off the Record. A lot of people, Reddit, talking about how this was not a good thing. Not because it was added, but because it was added too prematurely, and you guys intentionally, and don't tell me you didn't intentionally do this, made it so grindy that you made your Crown Store so super attractive because you knew people were going to like this. You didn't do this with the primal style, which you know no one liked. You did it with a style that you knew people would like and would make you crap tons of money. That's shady. Personally, I don't know. Like, I feel like you could. How I feel you could fix this, I honestly say remove it from the Crown Store and refund people the crowns. Will you do that? No, you won't. I know you won't, because we know you and we know how your entire business mentality is. You've proven that to us right now, that your business mentality is greed. I'm not even going to pretend like you will remove it. Okay, please, by all means, prove me incredibly wrong, and I will get down and eat my words. But that's not going to be the case. You could show a little bit of goodwill towards your players by removing some of the insane grind, such as, I don't know, one thing that I really liked would be the ability to, when you use the Merethic potion, to be able to pick which piece you want. You could still keep the RNG from the pieces, but, allow us not to get multiple duplicates of the same thing where no one wants to buy it because we can only sell it for a certain huge amount of money because of how much of a grind it is. Or just increase the drop rate exponentially. Like, either of those things. Allow us to get the crafting writs from other places. Allow the items to drop more frequently. There's a lot of things you could do to lessen the grind and maybe bring back a little bit of goodwill from us and from a lot of your crafting player base. Either that, or we'll just wait till a new game comes out that does it better, and then we'll leave. All right. Let's go ahead and let's just get into emails, because I know we've been going for about an hour now, but I honestly think I'm going to keep our gameplay till next week.
Okay.
For various reasons, of which you know some, but we'll keep that for next week. Because we'll likely be shy on news because they're probably not liable to put out anything of real note after the backlash they got from a lot of people in the community this week. So I'm imagining it's going to be a pretty slow week. So we'll save our gameplay and we'll just add to that for next week. But let's go ahead and let's move right on into our email section, because we did get a couple emails. And I have to scroll through our notes. First off, hello there. Just listened to Tales of Tamriel, episode 82. Great show, as always. I've been following the show since close to the beginning. It's truly a high point in my podcast listening each week. Love the insight and discussions and all the guests and all the work you have done to the site with the class, skill write-ups, and descriptions. On the episode, I would agree that rewards should be different for solo versus group content. For anyone who didn't listen to episode 82, we talked about a Reddit post where someone was claiming that they wanted to be able to solo veteran dungeons and stuff like that. And they wanted the ability to get all of the best loot from solo. And we, of course, rightly tore that apart because it is an MMO. Not the soloing part. We're fine for story, but you shouldn't be rewarded with the best gear for obviously a lot easier challenge. It's kind of like making a 6-figure salary while working at McDonald's. No, because the job you're doing doesn't necessarily equate to 6 figures. Whether it's for any real reason, whether it's difficult or the skill level behind it, it's just not there. Man, I'm quick with these analogies today. And I have to say that as primary solo player, I am hampered by real life issues that pull me away from the game at random intervals, and I'm always conscious of that and try to pick my groups accordingly. Though after listening to you all and the fun you have together, I plan on redoubling my efforts and group more when possible. I'll have to send you a guild request too, and hopefully be able to hit up some adventures, exploits, pledge runs, all that fun stuff. I do have a question though. You mentioned being a Knight of Nine Master Crafter. I'm assuming this is on your main tune. I'm curious as to the viability of doing this in regard to available skill points. Do you feel there is enough to do this and still complete the majority of skill lines without critical limitations? I'm thinking you must, but you would, but I would love if you could touch on this a bit more. My main is a Templar, so I've stuck with the blacksmith line, but it'd be nice to branch out a bit and reduce the need for a few alts. Thanks again, and for all the work you do on the show and the site. P.S. You might remember me from my YouTube name channel, Midnight Geek. Hey, Midnight Geek. Yes, I do remember you. Thank you so much for showing up. Good luck and happy hunting. Look forward to your upcoming shows. Best regards, Midnight Geek /Roland. Roland, thank you so much for the email. We do appreciate it. And, even as you said, as a solo player, you see the point. And I mean, look at games that have that challenge. You want to be challenged, or else you're not playing a game, you're watching a movie, right? I mean, that's what story modes generally are. And I'm fine with story modes by all means. But you shouldn't get the best rewards out of it. There's no effort in those. As for being a Knight of Nine crafter, let me say this. There are approximately, if I remember correctly, what is it? I almost want to say 400, but I think it's only 350 or something like that skill points in the game. It takes about 100 or 450 skill points right now to maximize everything in the game. So no, it is not currently possible to do everything. Right now on my main character, I completely max out with a few exceptions, blacksmithing, woodworking, and tailoring, and provisioning now because of having the experience pot. I feel with that, I can get a lot of the skills I need to play one role. If you're planning on playing multiple roles, you're going to have a hard time because you're looking at probably spending somewhere in the 100 to 120 skill points in crafting if you're going for a full 9 of 9 with everything. So can it be done if you get a lot of skill points? I think right now my main character has 270 skill points. So I am able to have my damage dealing roll, have my build. I don't have a lot of wiggle room. I think I might have 10 or 12 points to wiggle, and be able to completely max out blacksmithing, woodworking, clothing, and provisioning on my main character. So is it possible? Yes, but it is very hard, and you're not going to be able to do multiple roles, at least until you get closer to the 300 skill mark. So if you're fine with just one role, whether you're tank, healer, and not do much of anything else, then yes, you can kind of do all the crafting on one character and not need a ton of alts. I prefer this because I like being able to do everything on one character. But I still had to... The things that didn't require learning, such as enchanting, because I had to learn recipes on provisioning, so that's why I kept it on my main character. But if you don't really care and you're not a collector, then I would say move that one off to another character just because it's very easy to level up. Same with alchemy, because you can get another crafter up to 50 alchemy very quickly and be able to make pots for you and save the skill points. But anything that I had to learn stuff, provisioning and the 3 woodworking, clothing, and blacksmithing, yeah, I keep them on my main character. You can do it. It's just difficult, and you're going to kind of be stuck into one role.
Or you can be like me and use an alt.
Or you could use an alt, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I do use, and I'm not saying, even as a guy who only really likes one character, I do have an enchanting alt. I originally had a provisioning alt before the XP potions came out, and I'm such a completionist that I wanted it on my main character. So I switched it, but you could probably get away with provisioning on an alt too. Enchanting, provisioning, and alchemy. Those 3 I have on 3 separate alts, so that way it's only one for each one of those. But I keep the ones that require a lot of research time on my main character, and that works out for me. I like doing that. Our next email came from Patreon supporter Cameron. I wanted to put my perspective on the email you received last week. It was a Reddit post. You received a Reddit post from a guy talking about wanting to do solo content for all the group content. While I disagree with his request, I do understand. None of my gaming friends play MMOs. In fact, this is my first one as well. I can understand the pain it is to want to do the group content, but have no options but to use the group finder, which doesn't work. And we all know how that works out. Yeah. The closest I've come is finding a consistent friend in Setsua, and we haven't been able to get together that much. We get to play, finding a friend, going that way. I'm rather new to all of this, but I'd be willing to help out others who want to do group content, but are in the same boat as me. So I do see why some people would want that in the game. I do see why people would want the solo content, especially coming from a solo Elder Scrolls background. Avi, you can probably attest to that, coming from Elder Scrolls being mostly a solo game to kind of being thrust into group content's a little jarring, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I can speak for myself saying when I first got to this game and I found out that there was a bunch of armor and certain things I couldn't reach without playing with friends, I was disgusted. I hated the idea of it, but it comes to the matter of just giving it a chance, playing with people and meeting friends. I mean, I think that's what's changed my whole perspective is the matter that I have friends that play the game now, and I don't just have a bunch of people that I could play the game with. So
Yeah.
that's something that definitely does help.
And see, that's kind of what MMOs always were, was a place for friends to always meet up and be able to play. And I know that's when you join guilds and stuff in older games, and I'm talking pre-World of Warcraft era, you didn't join because, oh, they just had people. You joined because you liked the people, you liked doing stuff together. That was the whole premise of MMOs, was to be able to get together with people you knew, whether virtually or, in real life, and play a game together and to accomplish these feats you couldn't do by yourself with other players.
The definition of a guild. I mean,
Yeah.
nowadays it's more on the line of an army. You don't need to know the guy standing next to you as long as you both know the battle and are ready to fight.
All right. So as what Cameron said, yeah, as a solo player, I do understand all of that. And we're not against story modes. Please don't take it that way. Even the last email or the last Reddit thing we talked about was because the person wanted the same rewards for doing less work, and that's just not cool. But see, I'm an MMO fan. I am an Elder Scrolls fan. Yes, I absolutely am for the world and everything. But I'm not a single player fan. Like, it's very hard for me to get into single player games because I like MMOs. I like the permanent aspect of MMOs, being able to always come back, the characters always being there, that kind of deal. I like that. I like playing with friends. I like getting together with people I know and challenging something I can't do by myself. I don't need to have that hero complex of going, I'm the Dragonborn, like I am the only one. I don't need that complex of that's actually a very American type complex of I'm the hero, I'm the one who can do it, rather than doing it as a group. I like doing it as a group. I like getting together with friends and being able to say we took this down together. That's really cool to me, and I wish more people would experience it. That's what a lot of that is.
It's hard to take the jump to experience it, but once you do, you'll be so happy that you did.
Oh yeah, it is jarring because I remember my first games were all single player too. So jumping into an MMO way back when was very difficult for me. Going, what do you mean I can't do it by myself? But you grow to love it, you really do. But ZeniMax had a big jump because they took a series that for the past 20 years has been solely single player and added MMO aspects to it. They knew they were getting into a big job because they had to appease an MMO crowd while still hearkening back to their single player roots. I did not envy them their job, and I think they did really good on what they actually did. But it was definitely difficult. All right, Avi, it's the end of the show. Final thoughts. Let's let them have it.
It was a good show, and I like I said the last time we had our two-man show, I hope nobody takes our negativity too bad. We just care about the game. And we're gonna speak our minds because we want you guys to hear, and that's why we have a comment section and email section because we're not trying to mute you guys or your opinion. So please speak up about it, talk to us, and we'll talk back. And it's a great episode. It's always fun to do these two-man episodes.
Sure. Well, Nordling here needs to be bounced. I do agree. That's just it. We do not speak for the entire community, and that's why we do have subsections such as comments on YouTube, comments on the website itself. You can email the show directly, contact@dungeoncrawlernetwork.com. We will read your emails. If you have an opinion, please send us a well thought out opinion, and I'll read it, and we will definitely discuss it. And you are entitled to your opinion. I'm not going to shoot down your opinion if it's not offensive. Now, if you're just being a troll, I will totally troll you back. That's not going to be an issue at all. But if you give me a well thought out, hey, this is what I think, and this is why I think it, I will give it airtime. I will let people know so other people in the community can be there and hear your thoughts too, because we are a community podcast. And we do like hearing from you guys. So definitely do that. My final thoughts are, as a crafter, this is something that does affect me very closely. So you may say I have a vested interest in this. I do have a vested. I'm not going to lie and say, no, this doesn't affect me at all, but I'm arguing for the sake of everyone else in the game. No, I'm not. And I know some people, like Esteldian said, this doesn't really affect him. And some of the people who feel that way don't really affect you. I understand that. But this does affect a subset of the game, and we want our concerns heard. I mean, if a patch comes out later down the road and maybe it's something that doesn't affect me and you have strong feelings about it, please, by all means, let us know. Because we want to get our thoughts out here and make it known to ZeniMax when we do not agree with something, So yeah, that's my final thoughts. We do hope you enjoyed this little mini episode, and we will be back probably, I want to say next week, but I think Thais and I are going away that weekend, so Avi, you and I might be either doing a mini show or we might just, wait till later on to do a show, but we'll get one out. If you're interested in actually supporting the show, because I didn't say this earlier, you can visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/dungeoncrawlernetwork. You can support us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, leaving us a review on iTunes, following any of our other podcasts on the network, or telling a friend about us. All those things help us out so much. You can follow the show itself at Tales of Tamriel on Twitter. You can follow me. That's Aggelos, AGGELOS_WOF. Also, one other thing I did want to bring up was we've been getting a lot of messages lately about the PlayStation guilds, and I think there's been a little bit of confusion. Tales of Tamriel and Dungeon Crawler Network does not have a PS4 or Xbox One guild. We are a PC playing podcast, at least for all the main hosts. A few of our guest hosts are on console, but we are not. If you are looking for a good guild on console, I would heartily recommend our friends over at Quest Gaming Network and Elder Scrolls Off the Record. You can send their Twitter at ESOTR Guilds a message, or you can send messages to any of their players on the PlayStation 4 network. I can't remember their names. I'm sorry, guys. I'm bad at plugs here. It's kind of last minute, but definitely check them out. Best way would really be Twitter, emailing or messaging their Twitter, giving your PlayStation 4 or Xbox One tag, or emailing Elder Scrolls Off the Record at gmail.com, and then you'll be able to get them.
They have a Twitter called ESOTR Guilds.
Yeah.
So just tweet them there.
Well, if you don't have Twitter,
the Wings of Fate Guild is there too.
Yeah.
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 Wings of Fate Guild is all in the ESOTR Guild too, so we're all one big happy family.
Yep, we are. Yeah, that's if I played on those consoles, I'd be joining those guys. Like I would. So definitely check those guys out. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we will be back, if not next week, the week after, with more Tales of Tamriel goodness and more things about the Elder Scrolls. So have a good night, everybody.